Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, Brian Banks. I'm excited about this. So this is the story of Brian Banks, who was an aspiring football player. I think he was going to go to USC or something like that. Gets accused of rape, wrongly accused of rape, with lack of evidence. He still goes to prison and blows everything his entire life. And then come to find out that he was wrongly accused, as I mentioned. So it's interesting to see the details behind it. I don't know that much about the story, but I love football stories. Hate to see anybody wrongly accused of anything. You see a lot of those types of things. People go to prison. Great Kinnear is in it, and Aldis Hodge plays Brian Banks. So we'll see what it's all about. I think it's terrible. If it's a mistake and he was wrongly accused and the person just messed it up, okay. But when people do it, to harm somebody and they just do that, they should be held accountable. But I'll get off my soapbox on that. Let's get into the movie, find out what it's really about, find out all the details, and find out if it's any good. So stick around. I'll be back. Hey everybody, want to do a quick check-in here. We're watching Brian Banks. We're at the 47-minute, 29-second mark, and so far so good. One thing I failed to mention, kind of lost my train of thought there, but was IMDb only has this rated at 6.4. So I didn't realize that until coming into it. I thought it was, I think when I saw the previews, they really hyped it up, but 6.4 isn't that great. So I'm surprised, but so far so good. I'm enjoying it. Only 646 people have rated it so far. So anyway, so it's the story of Brian Banks. I told you all about that. The perspective is post all of this happening. So I had assumed it was going to be like in chronological order. I don't know why, but I thought it would start out as him as a teenager and what happens to him, and then going through. But it's not. It's more, he's already served his time. He's on probation, and he's trying to get himself exonerated from the past. Great Kinnear plays the lawyer in this that's kind of trying to help him out. Also in this is Morgan Freeman. Didn't realize that, and he was like a professor or teacher while he was in prison, and a major influence on him. But it shows the struggles he has today, because what he did was he took a plea bargain. Because he didn't understand any better, and so he thought that was going to help him. And the worst part about it, it's all pretty bad, but the worst part is he has to be a registered sex offender for the rest of his life. So you can imagine that the things that happen with him, he can't go certain places if he's within 2,000 feet of a playground or something like that. So trying to get jobs, establish relationships is all a big struggle because of this. And that's the perspective they're showing rather than going throughout it. So, I'm entertained. I like it. You feel awful for him, for what has happened to him, and it was just a girl doing it for a money grab. And, at least that's the way I don't know what really happened. That's the way it's perceived in the movie. So we'll see where it goes from here. I don't know what ultimately ends up happening with this, but I don't know why it's a 6.4. I'm enjoying it. And hopefully it continues this way and it continues to be good. But I'll tell you what, I'll check in at the end unless something interesting happens between now and then and let you know my final thoughts. So stick around, I'll be back. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Brian Banks, and I thought it was phenomenal. I don't know why it's got a 6.4 on IMDb. I know less than 700 people have rated it, but I don't get it. I understand that there's probably a lot of these kinds of movies wrongly accused and stuff like that, maybe, but I don't know what's not to like about it. I don't know, going into this, I wasn't aware of the Brian Banks story. It's funny, I was just texting somebody and telling them I was watching it, and they said, oh, they're always, interested in that, and I had no idea about it, nothing. Which is great, and that made me enjoy the movie so much better. Just seeing what this person was going through because of what had happened to him, and then trying to clear his name and the roadblocks that he would run into, and the pushback he would get from the lawyers and the people and stuff like that, for him to, you know, continue to try and stuff like that. And I thought it was great. There's a lot of anxiety throughout the movie. You know, it's like almost like a horror film. You're like, you know, so it's so intense and you're tense watching it. You know, it brings back all that kind of stuff. I thought the acting was great. There was, you know, I mean, I think it was Aldis. He was most of it. Greg Kinnear, of course, and he's always good, right? I mean, who doesn't like Greg Kinnear? And then, of course, my favorite thing about stories like this, based on true stories, is at the end they tell you what has happened since the film ends, which I truly enjoy. But and then they show pictures of the real life people. They show pictures of the real life people next to the actors. I always enjoy that. And there's just so much more information that comes out after the movie that I think just you know, intensifies how good this movie really is, for me. So, you know, I know I've been trying to rate things using beers. It doesn't, you know, whatever. So I'm gonna give it 8 beers out of 10, and I'm talking like 8 hazy New England style IPA beers, hard ones to get. That's how good it was. What's keeping it from 9 to 10? I don't know. I think the 6.4 is dragging me down. I don't know, but I truly enjoyed this movie. If you're a football fan, if you're a sports fan, if you're a fan of wrongly accused type movies, stuff like that, if you're a fan of the actors, I don't know, just check it out. I don't care what you are. It doesn't matter. I don't need to list all those things. If you enjoy good movies that, you know, kind of edge of your seat kind of stuff, check this out. It's definitely worth the watch. And if you don't know the Brian Banks story, you have to watch this movie. It's required now. If you watch this far and you have no idea what Brian Banks is, don't research it. Just click on the link below and start watching it now, because it's that good. That's what I got for you. It's only an hour and 39 minutes long, and well worth it. So, an 8 from me. Don't listen to IMDb. That rhymed. All right, thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.